Welcome all. The poem The Lotus Eaters, written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson was born in 1809 in Zomberbersky, Lincolnshire. He was educated at home by his father and later at the Louth Grammar School. In 1828, he went to Trinity College at Cambridge, where he got his best friend Arthur Henry Hallam. About the poem. The poem Lotus Eaters is based on the story of Odysseus Marinus described in Homer's Odyssey. Homer writes about the storm that blows the great heroes Marinus off coast as they attempt to journey back from Troy to their homes in Ithaca. The explanation of the poem, The Lotus Eaters. It was divided into two halves. In the first half, there are five stanzas. I'm going to explain in this part one video the first five stanzas. It means the first half. The poem begins with Odysseus of Ithaca because Odysseus is a man of Ithaca driving his men onward through moving ways. They are in the midst of their 10th year journey home from the Battle of Troy because these months are participated in the battle which was happened in Troy in the war name is Trojan War. It was happened for nearly 10 years and now they are from the war they are returning to their home. Tennyson's poem begins after Zeus has swept Odysseus' boat along to the land of the Lotus Eaters. Odysseus' boat was it means steel and it was brought to the land of the Lotus Eaters. It was an island in that the people they are very much favored to the lotus plant. It means the lotus, it is not the common lotus which we see in Tamil Nadu or India because India's national flower is lotus. That is not the lotus which was mentioned in this poem. This poem is a Greek mythology based poem. So they mentioned the lotus, it was a tree, it was a big tree and it bears fruit, bud and also flowers. It's not the common lotus, just note it, it is a Greek mythology. So this lotus is compared to the, it's a tree in the island. So here Homer also added this message in his Odyssey book also. Here Odysseus is encouraging his men, telling them to have courage in the face of these mighty waves that Zeus has sent them. This next one, he tells them will surely roll us shoreward soon. It means that Odysseus was encouraging his it means he was encouraging his fellow members to be very brave and courage because they are also as soldiers of the battle. So they have whatever big and giant waves comes to the, if they face very giant waves, it means a great problem. They should be very courage in they should have courage in their face and also in their appearance. And here the men are brought to the island by the afternoon, and then the speaker of the poem says the reader that he was telling about the land, why they have come here. It was explaining about that. This place that no matter the time of day seems to perpetually exist in the afternoon. This could be due to the heat or to the activities of those who reside on the island because that was very hot, so they consider it as an afternoon. Maybe they consider it as an afternoon, but they doesn't know what this is, the afternoon or evening or morning. But due to the heat, they can consider that this is afternoon, or due to the activities of the island people they consider, because in afternoon they will do some other things. Due to that they consider it as an afternoon. And the air seems to move very slowly around this island because the air was moving very slowly. And they the change it means the change that will soon come over the man as they taste the lotus fruit. It means they were very slow in their activities. When they started to taste the lotus fruit, they will be very active, they will enjoy their uh, they will enter into the world of pleasure. Here the speaker compared the air of the land is further compared to breathing, as if one is in a dream. When you are in a dream, we will be very we will enjoy that. So like that, each breath is long and requires some effort. The moon is standing and it was compared full faced above the valley. This line was given in the poem, and from there a stream weaves its way along the cliff, passing and also falling. Now it is the second stanza of the poem. The speaker is sharing the amazement he and Odysseus' party feel upon seeing this land. They are very amused by seeing this land. It seems to them to be a land of streams. They are very much excited to see the land. There are all different kinds around them. Some people are thin and some lumbering and powerful. Each of these streams connects to one river that is flowing towards the sea. Far in the distance, the travelers and the omniscient narrator are able to see three mountain tops. It means a peak of the mountain. And they see three tops. There are like three old monuments of aged snow. They consider the mountain as a old monuments. The old mountains age is very big for big that way they compared to us aged snow. They are standing strong in the sunlight, unrelenting to the warmth. There is mention of one dominating pine. It was a pine tree, and they were telling that was the pine tree that was dominating the whole atmosphere because the atmosphere was covered. The whole tree was covered with dew, and appears to or climb up the whole or a small grouping of tree. Or comparing to all the tree, this pine tree was the dominating one among that place in that place. This one larger tree is grander and than the rest because comparing to all the trees, this was the big. This was the appears as a giant one. Its top was very height, so they compared this as a dominating tree in this place, and it only seems to grow larger as they stare at the scene before them. The sun is setting when they arrive. When they are arriving that place, the sun is setting so that the afternoon is moving on. But it's not moving quickly. It has enduring the west with the red. It was slowly, the sun was setting very slowly. The speaker and the travelers can see through the mountains to what is a large valley further in the distance. Even though they have just landed and are at the sea level, they are still high enough to see far into the distance. The land seems to be bordered with palm trees and made a wandering vale and meadow. In these places and in the meadow, the speaker is able to see Ganigale, a type of sedge found in Europe and Asia. Mostly these Galingale will be found in Europe and Asia. And this galingale is comes under the ginger family. It is a root type, and this will be mostly used in the in perfumes. When they are preparing perfumes, they will use this. So mostly found in Europe and Asia. This land is one in which these things are equally beautiful because this also gives the most beautiful for this land. They are all a part of one another and making up the living environment. All the fellow men are on the still on the boat. They then came enter into the land. They are still on the boat, and the speaker describes and looking this land, and he was explaining this was beautiful, that was beautiful, and later came to they came to know that they entered the lotus eaters land, and they gathered, all the men are gathered and near to the boat, and they are seeing the land of the lotus eaters. And here the speaker continues describing about the lotus fruit and also about the men. And here for the other fellow men sailors, they brought the lotus eaters plant. That was it was a big I told it before, it was a big tree. So the branches all covered with the fruit and the flowers of the lotus plant, and which the lotus eaters shared with each from the ship, because the people of the lotus eaters island, they gave the plant and the fruit and the flowers to the fellow men who was in the ship. Fellow it because they are compared as fellow because they arrived to their own land, because the lotus eaters land. When these people started eating the plant, the men were overcome, and they feel like all the problems were very distant, because they are also facing so many problems, but they thought that the problems was very distant. There is no way, a big gap between the problems and them, and they were extraordinarily, their voices like dead men coming from the grave, and they are not even in their self control, because they are still awake, they are but in semi conscious state. They are conscious, but they doesn't know what they are talking and what they are telling. When they when they were both asleep and awake at the same time, the fruit can affect some magical effect on the man, can represent some magical effect on the man and cast a spell upon their intention. Each man can hear only their own self. It means they can hear only their own heartbeats. It was the magical effect of that lotus plant fruit. When after they eat the plant, meaning the fruit or the flower or the bird, whatever it is, they will hear only their own heartbeats. In the last stanza before the second half, it means in the first half, the last stanza, the men confessed a new desire. It means they sat themselves down upon the yellow sand at the shore of the land. Their thoughts were cast to their home and all that was waiting for them there. They dreamt of their child and the wife and also the slaves. Some soldiers are very powerful in their position, so they have some slaves, some servants, some maidens for their for in their home to help their wife and also their children, and all they left behind. But this desire for home was now deeply overwhelmed by their weariness. They no longer felt that they had the energy or the need to return to the ship and face the ocean once more. The men were more than content to remain with the lotus eaters for the rest of their lives, because they were very happy to be there. Because whenever they ate the flower, they forgot all the worries and all the distance. Even before from the battle, they were very eager to move to their home to see his wife and child and also his family. But now, when after eating this fruit, they are not interested to move to their home. They wishes to stay in the land of lotus eaters. And here they were weary the wandering fields of barren foam or the vast expanses of the ocean. They don't want to go to the experience the ocean, a sight which once gave them all pleasure and excited their inner adventure now means nothing, because that was given their inner adventure and inner some worldly pleasure, some free in their mind, some happiness in their mind, so they are interested to stay there. They turned to one another and said that they would return no more. They didn't want to return. They are among them. They are talking that we don't want to move to their home. We just stay here for this. After 10 years, 10 year of journey. After 10 years of this battle, we are facing some happiness in our mind and this day. So we don't want to return to our home. They stayed their island Ithaca, because their island was place name was Ithaca. It was a far beyond this way, because it was a far place. They were to go in sea voyage. It is too far from them to reach or even try to get back. They decide they will no longer roam. They have decided not to move to their home, just to stay here. So they are telling that no longer roaming. This is the first half of this poem, and the second half is choric song, and I will explain the choric song in the second part of this video. Thank you.